Hi guys and welcome back to the channel. Today I've got two replays in the Russian tier 10 medium tank, the T-62a. Now the T-62a is probably the best Russian medium tank out there at the minute at tier 10, and that is because of all of the buffs it has received in the recent past. Now I've got other videos on the channel of the T-62a with which it got buffed. I mean, it's had a lot of things buffed. It got its top speed buffed to 58 kilometers an hour. It got its reload buffed up a little bit. It got its accuracy buffed. It just got so much buffed about it that this tank is now just pretty nutty. The DPM on it is absolutely crazy. As you can see, you've got a 4.5 second reload without a food boost, which means you're firing 4.5 seconds every time for 320 alpha, which is crazy. You've obviously got good pen at the 264 range. You've got the 330 heat, I believe it is, which butters everything. You've got really good gun handling with 0.34 accuracy. You got 2-second aim time, which is beautiful, and you've got absolutely fantastic camo too, which just makes this tank utterly fantastic to play, and you can put up some massive scores with it, which is just makes it so nice. So in terms of a crew on this tank, I do run Born Leader, Rapid Reload, Sixth Sense, Situational Awareness, Run and Gun, Steady Aim, Trap Mechanic, Camouflage Expertise, and Muffled Shot. Camouflage Expertise and Muffled Shot because I want to make this crew as stealthy as it humanly can be without sacrificing other stuff, because like I say, the camo on this tank is absolutely fantastic, and you can use it and abuse it in positions like this on Westfield quite easily, and you can again put up some massive scores. And in terms of the gun handling, steady aim always 10% better, always, and run and gun to make yourself 10% more accurate on the move too, because again, that's always what you want to be doing. And then trap mechanic, because I'm at tier 10, and in some tanks like this where I can be aggressive, I can side scrape and stuff like that, I kind of just want to be able to put my tracks back on quicker. As you can see, by the way, with the DPM, just how insane it is. This poor E100 got tracked and just was absolutely trashed. There was no hope he had any hope whatsoever of getting out of that, and we completely wrecked the poor guy. In terms of equipment, I run two setups, really, to be honest, and that is Rammer, Camo Net, and Optics. I run the Camo Net again to make the camo greater, which is what you're seeing in this game, and Optics to be able to spot for myself, as well as a Rammer naturally to make my DPM 10% more better, always. But I do run another setup of pretty much the same, but vert stabs as well, to make my gun just that little bit more snappier. And sometimes it's because I can play it's one of those things, it's perception's fickle, right? Because some games I can play this tank with a camo net, no vert stabs, and the gun feels amazing, and I'm absolutely loving it. And then I'll play a few games in it, feel absolutely frustrated because I'm missing shots left, right, and centre, and I just go, screw this, I'm putting the vert stabs back on. I put the vert stabs back on, and then it feels great with the vert stabs. But then, like I say, I can play without them, and I think this game is one of those where I put a camo net on, and it still feels fine anyway, because the gun handling is good. So you can run either or it's up to you, really. I mean, if you really wanted to as well, and you weren't bothered about the camo, you could put traction system on to go even quicker. Completely up to you. It's down to how you want to set the tank up. I set it up with either the vert stabs or the camo net, because, like I say, I can abuse the camo quite effectively, or I want to make it so I can just snap shots on the move repeatedly very easily. And when you do have the vert stabs on, to be honest, this gun does become absolutely beautiful and hits pretty much every shot. So in this game so far, we're up to 2.7k damage with 3.6k... or 2.7k assistance, yeah, with 3.9k damage now on Westfield, which is always a great map to get in a medium tank like this, especially with the spawn we had. That north spawn is an absolutely beautiful thing when you take that mid-ridge, and we are absolutely trashing the enemy team as much as we can. We were just checking out the chisel on the hill there to make sure he didn't have shots at us, which he does, thankfully, just bounces, and we managed to shut down the other chisel. We're going to charge in to try and get this final kill, though, because, I mean, at the minute we're at, what, 7? We're at 8k combined, which is pretty damn good, and hopefully, with how good the reload is on this tank, we can absolutely destroy this guy, and it looks like we're going to get the kill, which we do, and we finish off that chisel for a really nice total in a pretty quick game on Westfield, which is always great. Finished with the epic victory, 7 kills, 5.3k damage, 3.1k assistance, ace tanker, devastator, top gun, high caliber, 1727 base XP. A really nice game for the T-62a, which Westfield is a beautiful map for most tanks like that, and it showed that's one of those positions where having your camo as good as possible is definitely a big strength for a tank like this. And Fisherman's Bay is another one, because the amount of bushes and foliage cover that is knocking around, there's so many positions that you can abuse having fantastic camo and stay unspotted. There's also a lot of places where you're going to be fairly aggressive, and that's where you're going to see that in this game, because we are going to play fairly aggressively in a fairly aggressive position, which is the position at F6 up here next to this house, because we can spot and shoot across the people that are heading into the town, like what this light tank's just spotted, and we can also fight the people on the mid-ridge. Now you might be going, why did he just like flinch fire there? I flinch fired at this building in front of me because this building can cover shots at those guys like that 53 TP over there that we just missed. It can actually cover the shots that you can have at those guys down there, and it can make things just really, really awkward. I didn't destroy the second bit because the second bit actually makes it harder for the enemy team to shoot us on this side. And then again, you've just seen me destroy that piece of building as well, because that bit of the building makes it harder for us to shoot into the town. So I destroyed that so that we can have a good time and start farming them in the town. As you see, this AE Phase 1 is in the perfect place for me to start farming. We managed to block a few shots of our turret, and this is where the T-62a is going to have a good time, right? Because the turret armor is absolutely phenomenal on the T-62a, and one of the things, obviously, that they buffed on this tank is it went from 5 degrees gun depression to 6, and 6 is, while it's not fantastic, and it can still be very, very awkward, if I'm totally honest, it's more workable than 5, and it helps you really use the great turret armor that this tank has. So you can see we're just trying to angle for a shot somewhere over here. The artillery starts looking at us, and we're like, no, not about that life. And we're just looking to see what was actually going off behind us, because there's 2 tanks in the cap, and they're sitting there, and I was like, are these people playing? Or are they AFK? Have we got 2 heavy tanks that are AFK? It looks like one's just connected, but the other one is still... Oh, they've both connected. Look at that. They're both moving on the minimap. You can see it. And I was like, what's going off? Where's the help? But now we're going to go help this T-95E6. This T-95E6 is in the town by himself, but they are pushing him. So what we're going to do is we're going to support. So as you can see, we've taken up this position here where we are actually pretty hull down, which is nice, and we can just start firing these shots in as much as humanly possible to try and help this guy. We tried to finish off the ISM there, but unfortunately we actually get the tracking shot on the E100, and I say unfortunately, but actually that tracking shot's really going to work out, because we're perma-tracking this E100. Yeah, another E100 we're perma-tracking here. And this poor guy is just going down. Look at this. This is how fast this tank devours. And when that poor guy gets destroyed, in the space of what, like 30 seconds? Not even 30, it was more like 25 seconds, 20 seconds. He'd lost all of his hit points. He just couldn't do anything because we managed to get that lucky shot into his track, and that just kept him pinned. We managed to get a shot or two into that T-77 that was moving. That ISM is stock, so we can get the shot straight through his stock turret and shut him down. And now we're going to focus on the stuff that is in front of us. There's a Type 4 Heavy there, which we can absolutely butcher with our heat rounds. And then there's a Cobra here. The Cobra manages to pen one in. He bounced one heat round as well. And the Type 4 then pops around and gets a big HE shell into us, which is not helpful. But because he's fired, we know the Cobra is not going to pop over and shoot us again anytime soon because he has a very long reload. So we're just going to keep trying to pop in these big heat shells into the Type 4. Don't quite work out like that though, because we end up ricocheting one because he was moving away. But now the Type 4 is gone, we're going to start focusing on the 53 TP in front of us and start trying to work him over with our fantastic DPM. Unfortunately, we ricochet off his upper plate there, which is really quite unfortunate. But we're just going for it. Oh, and unfortunately, that shell bounces off the ridge line as well. Oh, god damn it. And the VZ55 ends up shutting that guy down. But we're up to 5k damage so far with 1400 assistance. There's a decent amount of tanks left. The Foch gets spotted over there, though. And we are actually enveloping their team here because we have map control. This is what you call having map control, because we control our side all over here, and they've managed to loop round at A2 on our team, to attack their team, which means that these guys have a limited place to fall back to. So we managed to get a nice shot there to shut down the Cobra. The AE Phase 1 is still in town. There's a light tank behind us and the medium tank at D5 and that Foch that we were shooting at. So I'm thinking, you know what? I'm going to probably try and attack this AE Phase 1 and just get rid of this guy. Because sure, he will pen me for 400 and put me down to a one-shot. But at the same time, I can just out DPM him massively because he has no DPM. Unfortunately, we bounced one off his side though, and yeah, he managed to bounce off us, which was fantastic. And because he managed to, well, we managed to get the shot in before he got his shot in, that meant that we could finish him off there, which is nice. That puts us down to a one-shot for the Foch, unfortunately, but it's fine. We'll take it, because look at the camo here. We can actually farm this Foch now without getting spotted, which is great. We're up to 7.1k damage with 1900 assistance, made out 7.4. And this poor Foch has no way of spotting me. We're going to see if we can get another shot into this guy's cupola, aiming the shot in. That one ricochets, not sure where I hit him, but we do get another shot into his cupola there, and he gets finished off by the VZ55. We finished the game with another fantastic total for the T-62a, finished with the victory, 3 kills, 7.7k damage, 1900 assistance, nearly 3k blocked, ace tanker, the steel wall, the high caliber, 1713 base XP. A really great game for the T-62a, showing off the good armour that this tank has, as well as the gun, the DPM, just everything about this tank. It's an absolutely nutty tank at tier 10. It's fantastic. And all the buffs have made this tank so relevant. And yeah, it's a hell of a lot of fun to play. And it put the Object 140 into obscurity, which is a weird thing to say, because I never thought you'd ever say that. So as always, everybody, thank you very much for watching. I'll see you next time.
A great success!